Are you ready for the hot take?
I'm so excited.
Zack Snyder.
The director.
Zack Snyder is a great director in all of his movies.
All of them?
All of them. He's a great director.
Even his new one?
This does not mean he's a great writer all the time.
Heard. Is that your hot take?
Yes, that is my
I
hot
agree.
take. Okay.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay. Welcome to Amateur Cinephiles, the show where the two of us watch a lot of movies and then talk about them 2 at a time for the next 100 weeks.
Fuck. What have we gotten ourselves into?
Today we're going to be talking about Singin' in the Rain, directed in 1952, and The Human Centipede 2.
Notoriously, I don't like musicals at all.
Okay. So, Singin' in the Rain. Directed in 1952 by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly.
Yes.
Alright, this film follows a group of Hollywood A-listers that are struggling to transition with the times of film and how silent films are becoming dead because of the new talkies that are coming out.
Yes.
I'll just stop right here to say it. I loved it.
Okay.
The whole movie. Okay. Now,
have you ever seen it before?
this is my first time watching it.
Okay.
Absolute first time.
This is my first time watching it too.
Yes. Gene Kelly is just the top tier in acting in this movie. He commits to the dancing, the singing, the chemistry between him and Debbie Reynolds is unparalleled. Do you know anything about Debbie Reynolds?
I know that she's a famous actress, but it blanks my mind what she's been in.
Do you know her daughter?
No.
So Debbie Reynolds is the mother to Princess Leia herself, Carrie Fisher.
Okay, yes, that makes sense now. Yeah.
So, do you know anything about like the behind the scenes of this film?
Not really. I didn't look much into it because after first watch, I just didn't enjoy it.
Okay, so Gene Kelly is kind of a dick. He was the star of the film and the director.
Okay.
And Gene Kelly was a little older. He is really, really notorious for being a perfectionist through and through and through. He wanted the musical numbers to be performed perfectly, the dance sequences to be performed perfectly, and the acting to be the best out of every actress. So Debbie Reynolds was just 19 when she was in this movie. And he made her cry so much because he was just this absolute monster of a human being. And like years later down the road, he had to apologize for how he treated her, and he said it was a shock that like she even still talked to him. The best things that I have to say about this movie, the direction in general of it, the set design. The set design is so like
my favorite part of the movie was like I wrote it down in my notes. I said it was like the quality of the movie is what made the score what it was, in my opinion, my final score.
It is so vibrant.
It's such a high quality movie. It's very well made.
Yes.
I just didn't like it.
The tap dancing numbers are phenomenal. So, one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, you have Donald O'Connor, Cosmo Brown, the best friend.
Okay.
He is trying to convince him that, like, the best way to keep the audience engaged is to make them laugh. Yeah. It is one of the best dance numbers. It's one of the best songs in the movie. At the time, Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor were real friends outside of the
filming.
Yeah. Donald O'Connor was smoking about 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
Sounds like my dad.
During this dance number. And I don't know if you remember it very well, but he is all over the place the whole dance number. He's running up and down the set, he's flipping off of walls, dropping down on his knees, getting back up. Yeah. This actually put him in the hospital.
Nice.
Because of
dehydration or just
exhaustion in general.
Yeah.
And he was getting really bad rug burn on his knees from like dropping and like falling on stuff. It was carpet over concrete floor. And he was just having to like...
So it's AstroTurf.
Yeah. Ugh. And he went to the hospital because of all that exhaustion and all that rug burn and that nasty mess of a dance number. And Gene Kelly somehow managed to mess up the film from when he had done so many takes of it. Yeah. And Gene Kelly was like, look, we messed up. we lost the scene. And Donald O'Connor was like, all right, let's go. And he went and did it again. The only thing that he asked was that they bank the wall a little so that he could flip off of it a little easier. Because before it was just a straight wall.
Yeah.
And that wasn't originally in the dance number. Gene Kelly just knew that he could do it, so he was like, hey, can you do this? It'll look cool.
Yeah.
Some of my other favorite scenes include that final dance number where he is describing the Broadway actor making his way up for the movie, and he falls in love with that girl in the club.
Yeah.
And then they transition to this really beautiful like set piece where it's like pretty much heaven, and she's got this long flowing like train on her dress, and he's getting all tangled up in it.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful scene.
It's nice.
It is amazing. And in general, the singing, the acting is great.
Yeah.
Now
the movie in general, like through my eyes, it was nice to look at.
It's a very aesthetically pleasing film.
It's like La La Land.
Yes.
Which I ironically wrote on my Instagram post.
Yes.
And you got mad at me for this.
Yes. Because I don't think La La Land is the best musical
which
of all
was
time.
a joke, of course. Like, goodness. In my opinion, probably the best musical of all time is like Sound of Music. That's my favorite.
It's understandable. That's a good choice.
It's like one of the only musicals I can watch like through and through and like not hate it. The 3 categories that we rate out of: acting, directing, and writing.
Yes.
What was your highlight out of those 3? And then I'll bridge off of what you say.
The direction, for sure.
The direction.
The set design. The way that
was mine.
Gene Kelly, for better or worse, did bring out the best out of every actor here.
But the thing is, though, the acting, in my opinion, was the low light of the movie.
Really?
Just like in general, all the performances, they were really good, but it was just like it couldn't keep my attention.
It's understandable.
And then the writing, I counted like songwriting as writing in this movie because it's a majority of the dialogue in general.
Well, something to note is that these songs. Only 2 of the songs were written for this movie.
Which ones?
The only 2 songs that were actually original to this film were Moses Supposes, when they're doing the, they're trying to teach them the transatlantic acting accent, and they're doing the tongue twisters.
Yeah.
And then Make 'Em Laugh. Those are the only 2 original songs. Everything else was written before this, and it was used in like other scenarios.
Okay.
This movie was only nominated for 2 Oscars.
Okay.
And it was Best Original Score, which is understandable.
Yeah.
From the scene that I described, where he's like in that really majestic, beautiful set, getting all tangled up. And Best Actress in a Supporting Role.
Okay.
It was not Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, I know that.
It was Jean Hagen for playing Lena Lamont, which I think is funny because it's very rare that a comedic role gets nominated for an Oscar.
I think. How many movies on the list do we have that are like pure comedies? Like what, 5?
Barely any.
And none of them have gotten nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
None.
So,
like you said, that's pretty significant.
It is. Going into this, I didn't know what exactly to expect because I'm not anti-musical, but I don't go out of my way to watch musicals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like personally, from what I've seen of musicals, this is just masterclass in all of them.
Yeah.
I loved the chemistry between Don and Catherine. I loved the direction, the art direction, the set designs, the really vibrant colors.
Yeah.
And I just kind of loved how it transitions from seriousness to playfulness and then back to seriousness.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just everything good about a musical times like 11.
Okay. That's a good summarization, yeah.
I'm going to give Singin' in the Rain a 10.
Oh! Damn! Hurt.
This is the first 10. We're going to slap a 10 counter right there.
BAM! This is the first movie that in this series of what we're doing in our top 100 best movies.
Yeah.
That is below, I guess you would say, a passing score.
Right.
It is a 6 out of 10 in my eyes.
It's understandable.
Into
The Human Centipede.
Human Centipede 2.
All right.
Sequel.
The sequel. This is full sequence.
Give your yes. Oh god, the titles of the Human Centipede movies. Can we talk about those?
First sequence, full sequence, and final sequence.
It's a good trilogy title.
It is.
It's not like unique like Star Wars, but it's not like verbatim from a book.
Yeah.
Like Hunger Games or like Divergent.
Yeah. Human Centipede 2, directed in 2011, by Tom Six. Tom Six writes, directs, and produces all of these movies.
Yes.
So that he has complete creative control.
Which is cool.
It is. It is very interesting. Tom Six had the concept to make a sequel to The Human Centipede, but not in the direction that he went with this at first.
Yes.
When The Human Centipede first dropped, he was asked by an interviewer if he was afraid that people would try and recreate this, since he advertised that the first one was 100% medically accurate.
Yeah.
That is where he got the concept for the second Human Centipede, where a dude is inspired by the doctor from the first one to create his own 12-person centipede.
Which is honestly like a pretty cool sequel idea.
It is a cool sequel idea that, like, you see him watching the first one.
It's cool. It's a good... It's like, it kind of breaks the reality of the universe he's creating, but in like the best way possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a cycle that repeats in the third one, which we'll have to watch later.
Yeah.
But
we do?
Yes.
I was going to ask if there's any other ones.
We do have to watch The Human Centipede 3 way later on.
Okay, good. The Human Centipede 3 is my favorite out of the trilogy.
Really?
Just because of how bad it is. And it's like hilarious how bad it is.
This was my first time watching this.
Okay. This was like my fourth time seeing this movie.
I have to say, I don't think I was allowed to like it as much as I did.
Okay.
I will start this off strong and say that this is the best of the worst that we have watched.
That's same here.
It was better than The Avengers, and God help me, it was better than Estarco.
Yes, much better than Estarco.
That's not to say that this is a good movie by any stretch of the mean. Before we continue.
Oh yes, disclaimer!
Disclaimer! This movie
is disgusting. It's so fucking gross.
Yes.
There's like ass eating. Oh, I shouldn't say that. But you know what? In post, we'll just put stuff that's in the movie.
Yes, so if you are sensitive to any of these,
yes,
we're going to put a timestamp right here that will skip ahead. Trigger warning, the whole 9 yards. If you're under the age of 18, please skip. If you're over the age of 18, please tread with caution.
Yeah,
okay.
This is like, on a scale of 1 to 10 of how like disgusting a movie can be, it's getting close.
It's an 8 for me.
Yeah, it's not Siberian film.
Serbian film?
Serbian film, sorry.
No.
But it's close.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because have you seen a Serbian film?
No.
I have.
You have.
I would put this pretty similar to a Serbian film in terms of quality, not in terms of like actual disgustingness, because The Human Centipede is a bad movie, but it has interesting concepts to it.
I think so too. It's very creatively like put forward. It's put forward more creatively than almost any other.
Because there's a body horror is not like so much the worst thing about this movie.
Yeah.
And the concept in and of itself is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think that's that is what keeps this movie interesting.
Yes.
And the one thing that I will definitely give this movie is that it has the best acting out of the worst ones.
So far, yeah.
But it's not hard to be scared when your mouth is wrapped around someone else's asshole.
Yeah. It's not hard at all.
Now, what makes this one pretty bad, what the worst part of it, in my opinion, there are times when it feels like it's trying way too hard
to be good.
To be not even to be good. Because the first, I'll say, hour of the film is actually pretty solid, where you get this character building of our main protagonist, who we'll talk about a little more in a second. It's once he makes the Human Centipede that the movie starts to decline for me.
Yeah.
Because it stops trying to tell a story, and it just starts trying to gross you out.
Yeah.
And that works to a fault, because you're like, oh no, exactly what I hoped wouldn't happen happened.
Oh no.
Are you ready for my favorite fun fact about this movie?
Yeah, okay, I was just about to ask, what's yours? Because then I have a story to tell about this.
Okay. There is the infamous scene where he gives them the laxative.
Yes.
And then they're defecating into people's mouths.
Yeah.
The fake defecation that they made for this film, it was a mixture of cocoa powder, soy milk, because one of the actresses was vegan.
Nice.
And some chopped up ginger. That fake doo-doo was apparently so delicious that actors were eating it in between scenes.
Oh, I cannot. It's so gross. Imagine trying to like produce a movie and you see some shit like that happen.
Okay, let's talk about my favorite part of this movie.
Okay.
Or, I guess you could call it my favorite part, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence R. Harvey has a completely unique and really funny way of portraying this antagonist. The Martin, God, I love him.
He's so
gross. He's so weird.
Yeah.
He's so sweaty. He reminded me, like, I almost think he would be a perfect cast to play Penguin in Batman.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yes.
And there's just something that I love about how weird the character of Martin is.
He plays it very well.
He plays it so well that he's sweaty and he's gross and he gets like these little like excited moments.
It's just it like watching the movie. It gave me
I loved his character
Me too.
so much.
Me too.
He was, if it wasn't him, if they had stayed with the doctor from the first movie, I wouldn't have enjoyed it so much.
Me neither.
Because it was the weird, like, kind of, like, quirkiness of having this stupid villain that is just getting lucky the whole time.
Yeah.
That I really, really enjoyed about the movie. And it's the reason why I'm going to give the film the score that I have for it.
Okay.
It's not bad enough that I can, like,
go in depth
on it, but it's not good enough that I can, like, really praise it.
Yeah.
So
this movie is good enough to not talk about. So like, it's a compliment in itself.
It is a compliment in itself to say that it doesn't deserve to be on this list.
It's the most average bad movie.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna give the Human Centipede 2 a 4.
A 4. Wow. Yeah. I'm changing my score a little bit, just 1 point.
Yeah.
I originally had a 5 out of 10. I said this is the most enjoyable bad movie so far.
I agree.
More fun to watch than Singing in the Rain,
yes.
in my opinion. I enjoy this much more. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Really?
Part of Singing in the Rain. I enjoyed this movie. Like actually though, I'm being for real. I liked it a lot. Movie recommendation of the week.
Movie of the week. Go ahead and start.
Okay, mine comes in a pair. And they're both short movies.
Right.
One of them's a little bit longer than the other. And the only reason why I watched them is because you made me watch the first one, and that is Major Pain.
Okay.
With Damon Wayans. I don't know what year it was directed. But
hilarious movie.
Dude, I watched it at his house, and it was so funny. Yeah, I pissed my pants like 8 times. It's like the funniest thing I've seen in a while. So, a couple of days go by, and the second movie that I'm going to recommend is on Netflix, and it's The Last Boy Scout. Directed in 1991, featuring Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis.
Hilarious movie.
The plot of this movie, to give a little short explanation.
Yeah.
There's a football player who basically is hired by a like mercenary, and he gets paid to like flip a sporting event so this guy can make money.
Yeah.
So he kills all these players to score a touchdown, gets arrested, then kills himself.
Yeah.
Then it's basically Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis like buddy copying the whole thing. And it's so funny, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It just gave me so much nostalgia of like a Lethal Weapon, but it was completely different.
Yeah.
It was very good. I enjoyed it.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
So if you could rate these movies so that they know how you feel about it, what would you give Major Pain?
7.
Okay, and then The Last Boy Scout?
An 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
7 and 8. They're good.
Right.
I enjoyed them.
And they're both on Netflix?
They are both on Netflix.
Wonderful. I'm going to recommend Gaspar Noé's Climax.
Okay.
Because we had to watch Human Centipede. It made me feel like I wanted to watch something that was like a good disturbing, and I think Climax is a perfect disturbing. So Climax is loosely based on true events. It is about a group of dancers who are practicing for an upcoming tournament that they're about to. Yeah, a competition that they're gonna perform at.
And it's French, isn't it?
It is French, yes. And they find out that the sangria that they are drinking has been laced with LSD. And everyone starts having a bad trip. And what makes this movie so good is that it is all one take, and you never see what exactly they're seeing. So the horror aspect of this movie is that everyone is going insane, and you're not entirely sure why.
Yeah.
And I really, really love this movie. It's on Amazon Prime.
It is.
If I had to watch Climax again, I feel that I would still give it the same score that I had, and at the time when I watched it, I would give it a 9.
That's what I would give it to.
Yes.
Because you watched it before I did.
Yes.
Know? And then you showed it to me after your first watch.
Yeah.
And I watched it. I thought it was really, really amazing.
It is a phenomenal movie.
Very, very good.
Okay. Watch Climax on Amazon Prime. Watch Major Payne and The Last Boy Scout on Netflix. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share with your friends. If you watched this week's movies, comment below what you thought of them. Nathan Lacombe, Instagram tag. Anthony Rivera, Instagram tag. Right, Amateur Cinephiles, Instagram tag. Make sure to tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.